Hello guys, you might be a little bit crooked, can't really tell, but if you are, deal with it. So hi, welcome back to my third episode of my Kendall's Creations crochet knitting podcast thingy-bob. It is Wednesday, June 16th. I almost said July 16th, but it is not. I'm officially a senior, and technically I was a senior my last episode, but my grades just got finalized. It's like, it's real. Like, I'm going into my senior year in 2 months. Like, this shit. Ugh. It's so weird to think that I'm gonna be a senior. I'm gonna be like the old person. But, and I'm excited to get this summer off to a start that is not in quarantine and not freshly out of a knee surgery. Speaking of knee surgery, I have physical therapy today in about 3 hours, and I should, fingers crossed, be able to start jogging this week. It's not something I ever really thought I was gonna be, like, excited to do, but, you know, when something's taken away, even if you hate it, you're so excited to get it back just because, like, you want to have the option to not do it. You don't want to not have the option. Like, I would much rather have the option to run and just not have the option to run. You know, I like to be able to deny things and not have them denied. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So we're just gonna get past all that. Also, sorry if the lighting kind of changes a little bit. There's some clouds that are about to go, like, over, so it might change. I don't know. Let's hope not. But, so my fun fact about me for this week is that I want to be a forensic anthropologist when I'm older, which, to be fair, is only going to be in, like, 5-6 years, but still, older. And so, for those of you who don't know what a forensic anthropologist is, which I assume is most, if not all of you, because not a lot of people know what it is. Basically, there's 2 types, generally speaking. There's a criminal one and an archaeological one. I want to be a criminal one. Obviously, the archaeological one works on archaeological research, which is so cool, and I do have such an appreciation for that kind of stuff, and I could read about it and, like, go learn about it. I just could not see that for me for the rest of my life. I see myself going into more of the criminal stuff because I do love helping people, and yes, sadly their loved one has died, but, like, I like knowing that I played a part in giving them the closure and giving their loved one the justice they deserved. So, now we're going to go into what a criminal one is. I kind of already sort of explained it. So one skeletal, so I'll deal with skeletons, not the gross, squishy, fluidy part of dead bodies. Sounds gross, but it's the only way I can explain it. If skeletal remains are found, my job will to try to provide as much information as I can to law enforcement about, like, who this person was and how they lived and hopefully how they died. You can tell a lot about somebody from their skeleton. Like, not only can you determine, like, race and age and gender, you know, the obvious stuff that kind of you would think would be on the bones, and, like, your height, you know, the kind of stuff that you would look at a skeleton and be like, yeah, I can understand how they get this. You can also usually tell, like, what sports they played, and some jobs have occupational markers, not athletes, because athletics have other occupational markers, but, like, surgeons and doctors and stuff like that, they have different occupational markers than somebody who worked in the office their whole life. And so I'm excited. I hope to God I get to do that. It's so cool. It's so cool. I've always been, like, that weird girl who's obsessed with, like, anatomy and the human body and serial killers. Not in, like, a weird way. I just like knowing that, like, how all of these different people from all walks of life, like, what drove them to become a serial killer, and, like, what inevitably caused them to get caught, and, like, that kind of stuff. I like to delve more into the psychology of it, and, like, sometimes what happened to the bodies and stuff. Like, I just find that stuff interesting, because it's, like, real stuff that happened, and it's not, like, a hypothetical that you would read in a textbook. Like, this person, like, it's something that actually happened. There's actual proof and, like, evidence and, like, hardcore stuff about it, and I just find that cool. But, what was that? I don't know. On to the podcast part of the podcast about my knitting and crochet stuff. So, I kind of have a finished object. Kind of not. It is not the top I said I was going to finish. I have not touched that, so we're not even going to take that out of the bag, because it has not had one row done on it since last week, because, and this is my kind of finished object, I made a sock. Like, I made a sock. I finished this like 1:30 today. It's currently 3:15. So I started this, so I have a lot to say about this. They're all, like, I mean, the process of making, like, there was a learning curve, of course. It was my first time ever knitting a sock. Again, it was not my first time technically turning a heel and picking up gusset stitches, but it was different than the booties I showed y'all last week. So, this is the vanilla sock pattern on Magic Loops by the Crazy Sock Lady, I'm pretty sure. Hold up, I have my computer right here, just to make sure I'm getting all of this stuff right. Yeah, so I will have a link to her Etsy shop down below, which is where I got the patterns from. This yarn, we'll get into a whole mess of the gauge in a bit, but the yarn I got is from Michael's. I will try to find the label and link it down below as well. No promises, because I have no clue where that label is. But, so, I finished this today. I did a good portion of this. Like, I did most of the leg and pretty much all of the heel flap and gusset in one day, and then I did, like, the rest of the gusset decreases up until, like, gross, some of the toe decreases yesterday, and I only had, like, an hour and a half worth of work, and the toe decreases and doing the Kitchener on the toe, which, my Kitchener's, it's not perfect. It's not the best, but it's my first time. Cut me some slack, you know? I deserve a little bit of credit. Now, to be fair, the ends are not woven in, because that's, if you like leaving in ends, I'm sorry, you might be a psychopath. But you might have antisocial personality disorder, but it's just not, and there's only like 2, but still, I would rather just procrastinate that until I have the other sock done, so I leave them both in, and then wear them, and be super proud of myself. Yeah, so there was a learning curve, definitely. I was so glad when, like, all of the stockinette stitch wasn't, I don't want to say a true stockinette, stitch markers, because you were just knitting, but because you were always, like, on the outside of the sock, like, you never had to purl. I mean, obviously I had to purl for, like, here and then the ribbing and stuff, but it was nice just knitting, because I find purling significantly harder, and so being able to just knit and not have to worry about the purling for most of it was great, amazing, loved it. Yeah, and so that's my kind of finished object. I don't know how to fold this. Sure, that'll work. And so on to, this is gonna be a mix of stuff. So I did cast on the second sock to the pair, and I have 3 rows of, my voice is not happy with me. I have 3 rows of the cuff done so far. I'm hoping to get all of the cuff done today, maybe a little bit of the leg, but definitely all of the cuff, because I did 15 rows for the cuff, and it took me again, way longer to do this because this was my first time doing 1x1 rib, and I was still trying to figure all that stuff out and like figure out how the magic loop actually worked. But now that I know that, ignoring the fact that I had to restart this because I accidentally had one stitch too less and did a full row without realizing it. We don't talk like that. It was just a little bit of a brain fart, but we fixed it by restarting, and now we're good. So, hoping to get all of the cuff. I don't know why I forgot all of that done today. And so on to things that I have recently acquired. My tension rings still have not come in, and they probably aren't going to come in for a while. So don't expect those soon. They might come. The thing on Amazon says the end of this month till the end of next month, so I don't really know when it's going to come. But I also have a bit of a story about these needles. So I ordered the ChowGoo size 1 2.25 millimeters, but I got the ChowGoo 1.5 2.5 millimeters, which, given the fact that my yarn was too big anyways, I didn't really care, so to be honest, I didn't notice until after I had casted on this sock. And then I decided to do this one just because, first off, there's a 30-day return policy, and, but because I just wanted to have socks be like the same general size, so I just figured I'll do this. It won't take me that long, so I'll be able to return these and get the right ones before my yarn comes in. Speaking of which, I'm going to put these back on the needle so I don't forget which way I'm going. I did order 2 hanks of yarn from Knit Picks. Their bare yarns are on sale right now, and so I bought some because, one, why would I buy stuff on, like, why would I buy full price when I could not? And 2, yes, they're white, but it's, my first couple of times making socks, and I don't really care, it's not that I don't care for the big colors. I love socks. I have an entire sock drawer. I think I showed you the Power Ranger socks last time. So, I love fun colors of socks, but, 1, the bears were the cheapest, and 2, it's good for practice, not feeling like I wasted a beautiful dyed hank of yarn when I didn't, because I didn't buy a beautiful dyed hank of yarn. So I bought 2 of them. I bought the Natural Fleecy Fingering 100 gram hank, which is your, I don't want to say typical, it's your typical wool and then nylon mix. And then I also got Bare Eco Superwash Alpaca Sock, which, if you could, guess, is alpaca. I just kind of wanted to get the feel of different textures because, I know what I don't want to say what the regular one is, but still, I know it is, hold up, I'm gonna recalculate, it is 70% superwash fine Highland alpaca and 30% nylon. And so, it's a difference in textures and a different in materials just to see what I like working with the most, just to get exposed to different ones. Not a huge fan of wool, but I have heard that fleecy is super soft, so I'm hoping that it just works out. And I think that's all I have so far. Yeah, pretty sure. 98% sure that is all I have so far. I think so. Future stuff I want to knit and crochet in the future. I am applying for a scholarship for knitting and crochet people. I'm also gonna have the link to Knit Picks website down below as a reminder. And I want to crochet and knit a outfit and accessory thing. So I'm probably gonna crochet. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know it's gonna be a full outfit. And I want to somehow incorporate, like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do the top, because I technically have 2 top patterns. The knitting one that I have not done yet, well, I have not finished yet, and then my crochet top pattern. And so since they are my own patterns, I don't want to say, like, it's better, but, like, I feel like it would give me a little bit more of an edge compared to other people. And I also want to incorporate my Emily bunny pattern somehow. Thinking if I make a bag and then put the bunny in the bag, it pertains to the outfit, or I could embroider a little bunny on the shirt so then the bunny becomes relevant. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to incorporate the bunny somehow. So I have that, but I have like a year to do that, so I'm thinking of ideas and stuff like that, but it's not like on the front of what I need to do right now. And obviously I want to make the socks out of the 2 yarns I'm getting. I don't quite know. I think I'm going to get them either late this week or early next week. Most likely early next week, which I'm not mad about. So I have time to finish this sock and not, well, I not have to, I also have to, I don't know. Anyways, so we're doing that, and then I think that's all I really have planned. I hope to finish that top sometime soon. I might do it while I'm waiting for my new needles to come in, just so then I have something to do that is not cry about the fact that I won't be able to touch my new yarn and use my new needles at the same time. And so I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I have no new sales on Etsy, but oh well. This weekend is hopefully going to be this weekend might be a little bit busy, so I might not be able to finish everything I want, but I'm supposed to go to a party on Saturday and then hang out with one of my friends on Sunday, so there's that. I think that is all. Hold up, I gotta think. Yeah, so that seems to be about all. I am excited to get more into a routine of this. I will be posting every Wednesday. Hopefully every Wednesday. But if I do post, it's most likely going to be on a Wednesday unless I say otherwise. Most likely, if I announce otherwise, it'll be on my Instagram, which I'll have my Instagram and my Etsy both linked down below at all times. So you can easily find those. If you want to buy stuff from me, please do. I would love you, would appreciate you so much. You're my favorite person on this earth. So there's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm getting into the whole talking thing, it's awkward talking and then not hearing anybody come back. But I'm getting used to it. It's gonna get better. So again, thank you guys for watching this episode of my podcast. I will see you next week. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Still looking for Marvel and American Horror Story fans, although I have not been watching American Horror Story recently. I have seen both episodes of Loki though. So if you want to talk about either one of those, please feel free. I will see you guys next week. Bye.